Jay Runer here, and today we're going to be fine-tuning our Camaro. Now, the first thing I usually do before I start tuning a car is choose a track that's more like a handling track so you can push the cars to its lateral G limit. You want to do that so you can either brake it or stabilize it so you can get the maximum amount of handling through each corner. I use the Bernese Alps. You can use any handling track in the game. This is just my personal preference. So the first thing I do when fine-tuning a car, I'm going to go to my toe and camber, and I'm going to set them to 0. Now today I'm going to show you one extreme of your front caster. I'm going to show the 7-degree caster. This will give me some major understeer but great grip in the straights, and I'll have to oversteer with the implement oversteer with the camber and the toe. You probably have to use positive, if not any at all, because there are some cases where if you put the caster at 7 degrees, you will be at a 0 camber and toe, and it just works. So, and I'm going to keep my differential at 175, adjust that as I need to. Aerodynamics is set the way I want it. Be sure you have everything set the way you want it before you start doing this, because the fine-tuning parts are going to be your tires, your toe, camber, and your differential. And you'll have to go back and check your brake pressure after you're done doing all of this, because a lot of things can change also with your tire pressure. All right. So what I've done already is I've taken a warm-up lap to warm up the tires. You always want to warm up your tires before you start tuning any aspect of your car, especially with your suspension. So now what I'm looking for is how reactive the car is, and as you see there, the car kind of was sliding out when I was pushing it through that corner, so that could be a sign of understeer, or it could be that I was going through the corner too fast. So now I could really feel that the car is not that reactive, and it is understeering really bad. So I'm going to put some more oversteer into the car by putting some camber and some toe. I'm going to put 1 degree on each side. I'm a person who likes to drive from the center of the car, not so much the front or the rear, but this is all your preference. If you want to drive just with the rear of the car, you would want to stiffen up the front and keep the rear loose. Like you would want to go negative for your front and positive for the rear. And if you want to do the opposite, you want to steer with the front and not with the rear, you would stabilize the rear and loosen up the front. So I like to drive from the center of the car, so I like to keep it all balanced all the way down. So going through this first corner, putting 1 degree on there. Now, using a high caster like that, you can start getting into tire drag really quickly. You got to watch how much positive camber you put on there and how much toe you put in there. You'll start to get drag, and it will not help you. The tires will be very reactive, but you'll be actually going slower through the corners. So that's starting to feel a little bit better. And what you want is, however you drive, you want it to be able to turn with full turn of your stick. You want to be able to push the stick all the way to the left or to the right, depending on which direction you're going, and not have to worry about correcting the stick. Like if you drive on simulation, which I usually tune in simulation, you want to be able to push the stick left or right without having to correct it left or right like normal steering does. Now, a lot of people don't know about that. You can tune your suspension that way to where you don't have to worry about over-correcting. So going through a few more corners, looking at what the car is doing, you just want to observe what the car is doing. You want to see, is it sliding? Are you having trouble going through the turns? And if you are, bump it up a few degrees, because I tend to do 1 or 2 depending on how bad the understeer is. Right now the understeer is pretty bad in this car. It's starting to get better, and you want to watch your throttle. You know when you've put too much oversteer in the car is when you try to throttle out of a corner and the tail end wants to slide out. So it's all about observation and laps. You just want to put down as many laps as you want, as you'd like to tune a car. Now the car's feeling pretty good right now. I still feel that there is some understeer in the car. You may not be able to tell, but you will eventually. When you tune enough cars, you'll start seeing what I'm talking about. I'm still having a little trouble pushing the car through those corners, so let's see if we can bump it up one more degree. And if you watch your 0 to 60 and your 0 to 100 and your 60 to 0 and 100 to 0 braking distance, you can see that I haven't gotten improvement in my braking, and I think I've gotten a little bit of drag from the tires. But we're going to go up one more degree, and it looks like we still keep a little bit of the braking improvement from what we had previously. And yeah, we're still keeping a little bit of the improvement there. So let's see. Let's check tire pressure, especially when you're dealing with tow and camber and your caster. You want to check your tire pressure every once in a while to see if you can get an improvement by taking air out of the tires or putting a little bit in there. Since these are street tires, you're not going to really be able to do too much. And it looks like I do get drag if I take a half a pound out. And looks like at 30 it looks pretty good. You don't want to cause too much drag. It looks like there's little to no improvement with 0 braking time. So I'll probably keep that at 30, keep the roll resistance as least amount as possible. And check your braking pressure from time to time, because that will change also. Let's see. Nope. And no, looks like nothing really changed. So we're going to keep it the way it is. Keep that going. Looks like your 0 to 60 is kind of stabling out right now. So that can be a sign that you might have hit the sweet spot. When the 0 to 60 and your braking distance does improve, you might have hit a sweet spot. And you can definitely, oh yeah, I can definitely feel it now. I'm starting to get a little bit of that oversteer that I'm looking for. It's not too bad. Some cars might have it more than others. And then that's when you go into your differentials and then you tone down your acceleration by 10% or 5% to get that fine tune in there. And it looks like it's car right now is feeling really good. And thing about testing and tuning, you just want to do exactly that. You want to test and tune. So I think this car is balanced out. If you have any questions or if you missed previous episodes of Advanced Tuning, I will link them in the description below. This has been Jay Runer. Like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.